Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before I go into the video, I'm just going to talk about one of my videos got shadow banned about Sniper Wolf, one of my last videos. If you want to go watch the video, I'll be leaving a link so you can go watch it in the top right hand screen. And also I'm going to leave a link in the description for about Madcaster's video about the court proceedings that Leah Selesh is facing right now in court with with Sausage Boy. Okay, now I just want to talk about the downfall of Wildcard's control of their own product. So if anyone who's been following the studio that made Ark Survival Evolved is that they Jimmy Boy ended up getting like a $41 million lawsuit for breaching his prior competition agreement with the last employment he had. So he eventually poached team members and started competing directly with the company he left, and he virtually had to pay about $41 million in damages. So at the time, around that time, the game was fairly small, and obviously it would have caused Wildcard to end up tanking and going bankrupt. So at the time, they were looking to obviously sell their company so they can avoid bankruptcy. So they end up getting acquired by Snail Games. Over the years, it was a good thing to put a ton of money into development for Wildcard. But in the long term, they had to start doing NDA agreements, making it very stringent, very disgusting NDA agreements. So when the community asked what's going on, what's happening here, and obviously they didn't get to see it. Then Snail Games, in recent time, they've discovered that the $1.3 billion profit of the actual game itself was put into an electric car company trying to be the next upcoming Elon Musk. So yeah, that's a lot of scratch. So then when that happened, the developers assumed that they would just be doing a free update for all the community because they thought they had a ton of bang, but it wasn't the case. I'll also link one of Nooblet's videos about the whole shenanigans with the electric car company. So essentially what Snail Games had to do, they had to go get a loan. They got a loan from not actually a bank company, they got it from a server provider, the Nitrado server provider, so they can pay. And I think the one they're trying to keep low down, hush hush, so it didn't end up going in the public sphere, but eventually it did. They pay for Ark development, for Survival Ascended, and the game is, if the game doesn't release by 31st October, it'll pretty much brick every single private server that's out there unless it's running on its own server rig, and it really hurts the game. So eventually they're forcing you to go buy Ascended. It's highly likely that they'll allow Survival Evolved to die to recoup their losses, to force all their fans to buy the game. Now, the fans of Ark, I highly recommend my fellow survivors to temper your hype and expectations for the remake of this game, so Survival Ascension. So obviously I've been playing the game for at least 5,000 hours plus, and I've always enjoyed Ark, always have. Also, another thing that bring people's attention to, that's running on UE5. But at the time of this recording, UE5 has a lot of problems, a lot of performance issues, especially on PC, especially look at Remnant 2 and all that. So obviously it's not optimized for modern hardware right now, and it's obviously causing massive issues with frame drops and all that sort of shenanigans. So I wouldn't like to play it. I'm running on a 4090, so I'll probably be one of the only few people to be fine if it's going to run as bad as I think it's going to run. And hopefully then just shoehorn it in halfway through development with UE4 just to make it look better on social media. Another thing they need to do to the game is that, because we're going back to the island, and obviously this gameplay is of the island, just to get a feel what this current version is of when I actually do play it. So a lot of the old dinos I've actually used to, like you see on the screen, the Pterodon. Pterodon is not that great. It is really shit. And the one thing I wouldn't mind is just to give a little bit of extra modifier to leveling with stam, and probably give a little bit more carry weight, so it's a bit more usable for players trying to get around before they even get their Argentavis or one of the other flyers. And also the Quetz is pretty shit. Quetz has been pretty shit ever since they nerfed it into the ground, because the only use they had after all the fixes and stuff and weight nerf on it, they actually I think they actually made its stamina worse, and they took away weapons on platforms just so that people can use the skiff. It'll be the air raid platform. That was kind of shitty. And also I reckon that for the health of the game itself, they need to focus on more of the casual players, because I know the sweats are not going to like to hear this, but Casual players are what keep your game alive, not your dedicated audience, unfortunately. It'd be nice if it was your dedicated fans, but it's not. If more players, you can keep retention on the server the longer. And also been a big problem, especially when it comes to large Zerg tribes. They will go on official and they will completely wipe out a whole entire server and go server to server to server because they've got so many resources. They've got about 100-man tribes, 200-man tribes, stuff like that. Or not technically tribes, they're 20-player limit tribes, but they'll have big alliances and they'll just go server to server. It's absolutely insanity. And also, like, the population will drop right off. People stop playing. And let's be honest, when people get raided in Ark, it's not like Rust where you go raid, oh, whatever, I'll just come back after the next refresh. Once it's done, you're done. You've lost all your tames, you've lost all their work. And it's the game is more PvE driven than PvP, but also a lot of people go into PvP because they've got all these resources. Because if you're a small tribe, if you've got like a 4 or 5-man tribe, you're obviously not raiding as often as bigger tribes because you don't have the resources, the time or manpower to do it. Just simple logistics. Another thing to add with that is that the game I can see being still extremely more popular on unofficial LIP servers is because people just do not like getting ganked and losing all their tames and all that work while they're offline. It's fair enough if you get slapped around while you're online, you can somewhat direct dinos and stuff and defend it. So I can see official, people just get raided and absolutely get fisted on official, then they'll just move it to unofficial. It's just a better experience. And especially if they don't add in PvE servers for people that just want to play casually, like taming dinos and doing boss battles. So that's what they'll be going on to. And also, like, what happened a lot when it comes to PvP, the people had all this tech stuff for ages and ages, so they've done all the boss battles because they're all part of these larger tribes, and when they end up splitting off, they had a raiding advantage when they used to go off on their own, and they'll just like get heaps and heaps of resources. And some people used to call favors to old friends from bigger tribes, and it's just not fair. So they need some sort of net to protect players so they don't get absolutely ganked. Some players do not have 12 hours a day to grind up resources and play the game, because some people got jobs and also they got other priorities, like they might have family and all that, so you can't be expecting them to dedicate their life to it. Just completely narrowing down your player base further and further and further. You just can't have that. Also, with the current events and things going on in the game right now, I can see it because they're an Xbox partner. There's probably a good chance when they do the reveal tomorrow morning at 3 AM Australian time, they will be releasing some sort of gameplay footage of Ark Ascended. So it's a good chance we go on the Game Pass. It's good if you got Game Pass, but to that, I do have the Game Pass. I had the Steam version. I got to give the Steam version to a friend of mine years and years ago on Steam. It works fine. Fine menus and all that. But the Game Pass PC version, the Microsoft version, it's fine on Xbox. It looks like they just straight ported it to PC for the Game Pass version, and it's a shit. Like, you can get stuck on your bars, and interface doesn't work properly, and things are missing, like audio from the island. Like, a lot of combat music's gone from the island. Gen 2, it seems like they didn't update the game properly for the Genesis 2 update. So when you jump in there, it says you don't have access. You're on Gen 2, Matt, and you says, oh, you haven't got access to the Gen 2 tech armor, and also like a lot of the chibis and all that. It was just like, go on, dude, that's simple stuff. So obviously they just got told to port it, man, put a fuck all time into it and just launched it out. Also, the main takeaway with this, I really want to see Ark Survival Ascended succeed. I'm sure Wildcard really wants to make an amazing product and give the fans what they really need. Also, this product is essentially Snail is trying to use it to save their bacon. They obviously reaching out to Microsoft to obviously help them with getting day one access so they should get some money, because they got to pay like 20% of all their sales until the dual amount is done. That's obviously interest as well, so they're losing money anyway. So they're banking on it's just going to make them like about at least half a bill or something like that. They've just got their fingers crossed for it. Please hope you like this commentary. I'm trying to improve on my commentary. Please leave a like, subscribe, and don't forget to contact me on Twitter. I need more followers for my gratification. So thanks.